Hello everyone, back to today's second video. We're doing a CFS 6 Month Look-Ahead for today's second video. So as the name suggests on the tin, we're going to go 6 months ahead with a long range CFS V2 model. And this is going to take us all the way from January right way through to June 2020. It's just for fun, it's just have a laugh and see what the model is showing. For the first 1 or 2 months, there may be some scientific merit in what we're doing, but as we go 3, 4, 5, and 6 months out, then obviously that is in the realm just for fun and just having a bit of a laugh to see what the model is showing. So we're going to go through the 700 millibar height anomalies for the next 6 months, and then we'll have a look at the corresponding temperature and precipitation anomalies that go with those heights. At the end of last month's CFS 6 months look ahead, very dramatic ending, because I said that the CFS 6 months look ahead may be shelved. We may get rid of it. It's one of the longest standing videos that we've done on the channel, one of the ones that go right way back to the very start, really. But I said it could be that this month's CFS 6 Month Look-Ahead is going to be the final one. I'll let you know at the end of the video when I've decided I've been taking representations from all over the place about this. I'll let you know at the end of the video what we're going to do going forwards. But let's get on with it. We're going to start off with the 700 millibar height anomaly, and we're going to begin in January 2020. Now, this is just 1 month away, so if everything is working as it should do, then this ought to be the most reliable part. So for January, excuse me, still got a little bit of tickle in the throat. So for January, we've got below average heights to the north, west, and west of the UK, above average heights to the west, southwest. And this sets up a westerly to southwesterly flow. So for January, the CFS is forecasting an Atlantic-driven pattern. A mild, wet and windy month will therefore be expected for January 2020. Goes on into February. This is February's 700 millibar height anomaly, again with below average heights to the north and the northwest of the country, above average heights to the southwest and south. We draw in a long fetch southwesterly, so a very mild, maybe an exceptionally mild month forecast for February by the CFS, and very wet and windy month as well, particularly for northern and western parts of the country. Month 3 is March 2020, and it looks like this. Again, we have the above average heights to our south through the central Atlantic and into much of Europe, below average heights to the northwest and west. And so we keep those westerlies going, running in from off the Atlantic. So another mild, wet and unsettled month for March. That's 3 of them so far. Month 4 is April. We're in the realm of just for fun now. We're so far out that there's no sort of reliability about this, but it's going for below average heights to be in the central part of the North Atlantic. Excuse me again. We're going to struggle to get through this, I think, with me cough. So below average heights in the middle of the Atlantic, above average heights away to the southwest, a little bit up towards Greenland as well. Essentially, that just leaves us again with an unsettled month. Perhaps not quite as mild, perhaps not quite as warm as January, February, March. I think overall unsettled, maybe a bit on the cooler side for April. May looks like that, so we're at month 5 now. May has below average heights out to the west of us, above average heights down to the southwest. Essentially, we're still in the same pattern that we're in January and February. The only difference is that the anomalies are weaker due to being further on into the year. But basically, the CFS wants to carry on this unsettled pattern into May. And then we finish up in June with a bit of a different pattern. Finally, this is 6 months away, though, so obviously there's no sort of reliability about this. But it is going for an area of above average heights then to appear across the North Atlantic and into the UK for June, which potentially gives us a drier and rather warmer month, maybe. But again, 6 months away, so no sort of reliability to that. Temperature anomalies for the next 6 months look like this with the CFS. So for January, it's a mild of an average month, really, for most parts of Europe. Actually, for the UK and for Ireland, we are closer to average. We're nearer normal. A little bit above average still for southern parts of the country. The warmth is really on this in this central and eastern part of Europe, from Germany westwards. Exceptionally mild month in January through much of eastern Europe being forecast there, and all areas generally a little bit above average, really. February, another very mild month, and you'd expect that because we're drawing in those long fetched southwesterly winds for February, so all areas across Europe being forecast to be warmer than average in February. March is also another mild of an average month, which again you'd expect because, yes, we're still drawing in those westerly, southwesterly long fetch winds. So we have a trilogy of exceptionally mild months of January, February and March in much of Europe. April goes a little bit closer to average in the west of Europe. I thought that the temperature would probably come down a little bit in April. So we're nearer normal in April, although many of these eastern parts of Europe are still warmer than average, quite significantly so. May looks rather mild than average across the whole of Europe, and then June going closer to average, which seems a bit bizarre given that we're building in some higher pressure finally by June. But anyway, that's what the model is showing. Nearer normal temperature anomalies for June. Precipitation wise, it's wetter than average on the western side of the UK. So for January, nearer normal on the east side of the UK. February looks exceptionally wet across most parts of northern and western Europe, with significantly above average precipitation anomalies in February. March is also wetter than average in many northern and western parts of Europe. So the pattern that we've got at the moment, essentially the CFS is forecasting that to continue throughout the winter and into the spring as well. April goes a little bit less wet, so it's a funny old pattern in April. France still looks quite wet. UK, Ireland nearer normal, perhaps still a little bit above average with rainfall in the south for April. May is close to or a bit above average rainfall, and then June goes drier as we start to build in those areas of above average heights. We go drier, but it doesn't really pick the temperature anomaly up, funnily enough. I would expect that would be a rather dry and warm month in June, but the model doesn't really show that. But as it's 6 months away, who cares? Right, so we've gone 6 months ahead in less than a minute, so that's not bad going, is it? But there was, I mean, it's just the same thing over and over and over again, every month showing the same pattern, and that's the reason that last month I was thinking that perhaps it's time to kill off the CFS 6 months look-ahead and to get rid of it. I've been taking various soundings and representations from different people in different ways over the past few weeks. So what I've decided is that we will keep the CFS 6 months look-ahead going. So if you enjoy the CFS 6 months look-ahead, then the good news for you is that we will keep it going. We're going to combine it, though, with a Beijing Climate Centre 6 months look-ahead. So it will be kind of like CFS versus Beijing Climate Centre. We'll go 6 months ahead with the CFS first of all, and then in the second part of the video, we'll go 6 months ahead with the Beijing Climate Centre. And we'll see whether out of the two, any of those two models are more reliable than the other one. The Beijing Climate Centre sometimes shows rather different options, so it will give us something to talk about a little bit more compared to CFS. But on the other hand, it may not be as reliable as CFS. Who knows? We'll see. But that's what we're going to do from next month. So the CFS 6 months look-ahead will continue. I'm not going to get rid of it, but I am going to combine it with a Beijing Climate Centre 6 months look-ahead. And we shall go 6 months ahead with both of those two models. Again, really just for fun. And we will see what both models show in comparison to one another. So there we go, that's what I've decided. And if I get fed up with that, then I think it will be time to shelve the 6 months look-ahead. But let's see if combining the Beijing Climate Centre with it gives us something a little bit extra to talk about. Right, so that's it for CFS 6 Month Look-Ahead, and the final solo CFS 6 Month Look-Ahead as well. From next month, we'll combine it with the Beijing Climate Centre. Don't forget to check out today's first video update, which was a week to 10-day video update. No weekend forecast today. That's because we're going to do a weekend forecast on Christmas Eve on Tuesday, as we always do every year. That's the video that we always do on Christmas Eve. And Christmas Day, of course, we've got the historic video coming up, looking at the severe cold winter of 1939-1940. That will be on Christmas Day from 10 AM. All right then, so that's all for now, and thanks for watching.